Hello and welcome back, my wonderful mathematicians. I hope that you guys had an awesome 3-day weekend. It is time to get started in preparing for our math test. Our 6 weeks math test is going to be on Friday, and I know that you've already had your first one done today. Now, we're not going to do nows. I'm going to try to cut back on worksheets. I want this week to be fun, but in order for this week to be fun, I need your help. We got to stop it with the behavior stuff, guys. We got to stop it. We need to really cut back on that. So what I want us to do is be able to play games that's actually going to help us with the math test. But before we get started, there is a homework study guide packet that's going to go out right now. Now, I say, actually, you might have already gotten it because I really wanted to pass it out when you got these, which was your test scores. So hopefully you have already gotten your homework packet. They are due on Thursday. They're due on Thursday. You have until Thursday to get it done, but if you want to turn them in early, awesome. Turn them in early. They're only 12 questions, you guys. And I will say, you know Miss Bradley, if you're able to do the homework, you're going to ace this Friday's test. So do the homework, because I want everybody to be able to attend the pizza party and the electronics party. Invitations will be going out in a little bit, as far as another week or so. The first thing that we're going to get done, the first thing that we're going to work on, get started with, is the fixed and variable expenses. So, first things first. Miss Bradley's class, Miss Rubin's class, you guys are already set because you're actually in my 5 groups. Miss Guidry's class, I am going to give you 10 seconds to come together as a group, to get into groups. It cannot be no more than 5 people in a group. No more than 5 people in a group. So 10 seconds to come and form a group. Starting now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, for Miss Washlager's class. Now, I'm being told that you guys might not be able to do groups. I have faith in you guys. I do want us to at least try it and start off in groups. However, if you're showing the sub that you can't work in groups, it's going to be independent work. And some of these are games that you're not going to be able to play because it's mainly for groups. Some of them you're not going to be able to do. So, I actually have a list for the sub for Miss Washlager's group. She's going to go ahead and read out the names to let you know who's in those groups. So 5 groups. Go ahead and get into your groups starting now. And if you need to pause the video to get everything situated, go ahead and pause the video. Once you've gotten into your groups, you're going to pass out the fixed and variable expenses packet. Go ahead and take everything out of the packet. And the first thing that we're going to do is go over the definitions of fixed expenses. Fixed expenses are expenses that do not change month to month. Meaning that if I have a marker here and I glue this marker to the table, it is fixed to the table. It is not going to move. It is not going to change. It's stuck to this table. That's what fixed expenses are like. They're not going to change. I have a car note. My car note, if I'm paying $250 for my car note in January, in July, it's still going to be $250. It's not going to change. Next, it's the variable expenses. These are expenses that will change from month to month. For instance, our electricity bill, it's going to change. I might not use as much electricity last month as I did this month. So last month I might have paid $55 for electricity. This month it might have went up because it was probably colder and I used more electricity. So it probably went up to $150. It's going to change. So that is a variable expense. So what you're going to do as a group, you're going to take your 2 vocabulary words, fixed expense and variable expense, and put it at the top of your group's desk. It doesn't matter which order it is. You want to do it variable expense, fixed expenses, that's fine. Just as long as at the top. Next, as a group, you're going to divide these bills into which category you believe is right. Now, the first group that is done is like freeze. Raise your hand, that group. Everybody freezes. The sub will check over which one is correct. And if they're not correct, the game resumes. You go back to doing what you were doing until the next group raises their hand, fixes whatever they need to fix, and if they're correct, then they're the winners. All right, so go ahead and get started. Go ahead and pause the video and get started. When you come back, I'll have the answers laid out on my table. All right, welcome back, mathematicians. So under the fixed, and I changed my categories around. I need to fix it. Under the fixed expenses, when the ones that stay the same, we have the internet bill. The internet bill is not going to change. We have the Netflix service. I have Netflix and I pay $17.30 every single month. That's not going to change. House payment, not going to change. Car payment, not going to change. Did you guys see this Verizon bill? $1,200. But it's not going to change. Large bill. Under the variable expenses, we have buying clothes. You might not have bought clothes last month, but you bought clothes this month. Again, we talked about the electricity bill. That's going to change. Entertainment. You probably went to the movies, the mall, and let's say I went ice skating last month, but this month I didn't do anything. So that changed. Groceries. I'm not going to go to the grocery store and buy the same groceries every single month. So my grocery bill is definitely going to change. And gas. That is definitely going to change because I might not, like right now, I'm at home. Still not feeling too well, but I'm at home. So I'm not using any gas in my car. So I'm not putting gas in my car. But last month I'm going to work every single day, so I'm putting more money for gas in my car. So that is going to change. All right. Go ahead and put everything back inside the bags. Good job for the group that won. Everything back inside the bag. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Collect the bag and put the bag back inside the bucket. And I'll tell you what's coming up next. All right, the next one that you're going to pull out is the one that's called stem and leaf plot. Stem and leaf plot. Go ahead and pass that out. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. You don't need to pull it out the bag. Just pay attention right now to the video. The bag is once you get started, that's there to really help you. The first thing, a stem and leaf plot shows groups of data arranged by place value. So place value is very important. So this whole packet is to show us how to make a stem and leaf plot table. So the example that I'm using, the students at Donna Elementary math scores are shown below. I have a 17, a 65, 71, 95, 66, 88, 84, 71, 84, 65, 78, and 90. Those are all the scores. And there's 12 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You got it. That's very important. I'll explain that to you in a minute. Step 1. You're going to order your data from least to greatest. Order your data from least to greatest. What I always like to do when I look at my scores, I always check off. Do I have any scores that are in the ones? Meaning, are there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? No scores. Then I move up. Do I have any that are in the tens? Yes, I did. 17. Then I move up. Any 20s? Nope. 30s? Nope. 40s? Nope. 50s? Nope. 60s? Yep, I do. 60s? Then I have the 70s, so I'm writing it in order. 17 is the smallest number, 65, 65. Those are duplicates. I need to write them both down. 66, 71, 71, 78, 80, 84. See, when I first did this, I forgot about the 88. That's the reason why I said counting the scores, counting your numbers is very important, because when I went and count, I said there's 12, but when I counted when I put them in order and I counted them, I only had 11. So I had to go back and figure out which one I was missing, and I missed the 88. So yes, I made a mistake, but because I checked, I was able to catch my mistake. Step number 2, you're going to group the data by the tens digit. You're going to group the data by the tens digit. So I started off with tens. 17s is in the tens. Then I move over to the 60s. 65, 65, 66, we're in the 60s. 70, 71, 71, yes, that is a 71. 78, and then in the 80s. 80, 84, and that was the one that I missed, 88. And then my 90s, 90 and 95. Once I've grouped them into the tens, then I do step number 3. Step number 3, I draw a vertical line, and I label the left side stem and the right side leaves. That's it. So easy. Step number 4, I order the tens digit from least to greatest from top to bottom. We actually already did this. 10, 60, least to greatest. But on my plot, my stem and leaf plot, I do the same thing. That's for the tens, so I do 1, 6, 7, 8, 9, because that's going to be for the tens, that's for the 60s, that's for the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Step number 5, which is the last step, I'm going to write each ones digit in order from least to greatest to the right of its tens digit. So here's my tens digit, and remember, I had a 17, that's 17, 65, 65, 66, 71, 71, 78, 80, 84, 88, and then 90 and 95. So what you're going to do is you're going to pass out the sheet, stem and leaf plot sheet, and you're going to create your own stem and leaf plot using these numbers. Rose surveyed several people in her neighborhood to find their ages, and these are the results of the ages. So you're going to create your own stem and leaf plot using the steps that we just went over in our stem and leaf plot packet. So this is going to be out on your group's desk, and you guys can work together to get this done. Go ahead and pause the video. When you come back, I will show you how you should have done it. All right, welcome back. Let's check to see if what you've done is correct. So the first thing that I needed to do is I needed to order my data from least to greatest. So what I do, again, I'm checking, do I have anything in the ones? I have no ones, nothing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I have no ones. So I move over to the next tens, which is the tens. I only have 1 tens. So under here, I'm going to write my 12. Now, notice what I'm doing. I'm crossing out my number to make sure, or to remind me, Miss Bradley, I've already used that number. So then I go back and I'm looking, do I have any 20s? I don't see any 20s. Do I have any 30s? I don't see any 30s. Do I have any 40s? Yes, I do. I have a 40 here. Then I have a 41 here. I have a 45 here. And I have a 47 there. Checking to make sure I don't have any more 40s. So I move over to the next tens, which is the 50s. I have a 52 right there. I'm looking, I have a 56 right there. I have another 56 right there. Uh-oh. Didn't see that one. That's a 52. So I need to insert that 52 right there. Make sure that it's in the right order. So 52, 52. Okay. Do I have any more 50s? I have a 59 right there. Checking to make sure any more 50s. I don't think so. So I'm looking for my 60s. I have a 61 right there. I have a 64. I have another 64. I have a 67. Checking to make sure if I have any more 60s. I don't see any. So I'm looking for the 70s. I have a 70 right there. I have a 78 right there. And a 79 right there. Checking to make sure I don't have any more 70s. I'm now going into the 80s. I have an 80 right there. I have another 80 right there, and an 82 and an 86. Do I have any more 80s? I don't think so. So now I'm going to go into the 90s. I have a 97 and a 98. Remember what I said about counting your numbers. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 numbers. So I need to make sure I actually have 23 numbers here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So I am good to go. Then I need to move on. They've already drawn the stem and leaf plot for us, so we can actually skip step 3 and just move on to step 4. So step 4, I'm just writing the 10s in order. I started off with the 10s. I didn't have any 20s or 30s. I go into the 40s, 50s, 60, 70, 80, and 90. And then I can move into step number 5, our last step. Writing the ones digit. So under the 10s, I had 2, because that's 12. There's 12. Then under the 40s, I have 40, 41, 45, and 47. Under the 50s, I have 52, 52, 56, 56, and 59. And under the 60s, I have 61, 64, 64, 67. Oops, 67, not 66, Miss Bradley. What are you doing? Under the 70, I have 70, 78, and 79. And then next to the 80s, I have 80, 80, 82, 86. And then my last ones, my 90s. I have 97, and 98. So this is what your stem and leaf plot should be. That's it. So what you're going to do is you're going to write your name at the top of your paper. Write your name at the top of your paper. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. The 2 people who passed out the papers, they're going to collect the paper. 2 people who passed out the paper, go ahead and collect everybody's paper. And you're going to put the papers inside the homework bucket that's on my card. Put your papers inside the homework bucket that's on my card, starting now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then you're going to take the stem and leaf plot packet and put it back inside the bag. Collect the bag and put it back inside the black bucket. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. If there is more time in class, you're going to move on to the next video. This is going to be the ending of this video, but you're going to move on to the next video. All right? See you guys soon.